Hey everyone, welcome back. Doing the trade recap for today, and it's July 22nd here. Today was pretty chaotic. I'm going to dive into performance here, show you what I traded, and we'll go from there. So welcome to the channel. If you haven't been here before, I day trade pretty much every single day I'm in the market. And if you like to stay tuned on, average guy just trying to trade the market, day trade, small caps specifically, make sure to subscribe and continue checking out the journey here. So anyways, let's dive into it here. I have a few stocks that I traded. I traded IGC, IPA. I could go for one of those right now, a nice Indian Paleo. IPA, I did one trade on PRFX and NRXP, and then switched over to APDN. So those were the ones that were in play for me. So let's go over those pretty quickly. Now, today was chaotic. I'll show you the charts. Boy, were they all over the place. Let me know in the comments if you had a crazy day with some of these stocks. Just trying to manage and do your best. It was difficult. I felt like they were all over the place. But look at this performance here before we look at the chart real quick. I was able to get green, just a small amount, up 96. Dropped that, went negative out of the gates on IGC. IGC was kind of choppy, and was able to bring that up back up to 94 bucks. And then from there, I made a huge. I got caught in a real bad trade. Which one was that on? PRFX. I took a huge hit on that one. But from there, I decided to stick in the game and continue trading, which actually worked out for me. Not perfectly, really, but, I've done this in the past where it kind of goes two ways, and sometimes you just never know. But sometimes if I go red and I keep trading, I can end up going green like I did today. So today I ended up 146 bucks. So not a lot to show, but on the other hand, I've had, days where I trade and I go red and I keep fighting it and just don't get anywhere and end up, finishing the day red, usually at the biggest loss of the day. Not always, but sometimes I recover a little bit. Anyways, let's take a look real quickly into IGC. This one I traded right out of the gates. We had a real nice pre-market, huge move up, which was great there. So this one was definitely gonna be in play for me. I hopped in. There was 3 different trades. I think I had 3 initial trades that were green. It was either 2 or 3. And let's see. Okay, first trade got in at 417, sold at 424. So a nice pop up. Felt good on that one. And then I waited for the next one. Next one I bought in at 428. And that was on this candle. So as you can see, we dropped a little bit, but recovered on the first candle, came up. I traded that candle. I got a nice pop on it, but it did break down. So I thought, okay, I'm out for now. But then we had this candle that kind of recovered. And from here, it ripped up again. So I thought, oh, okay. Opportunities here, and I'm jumping in. Jumped in at 428, sold at 434. Good trade there. And then I guess I just kind of overstayed my welcome just a bit because, well, I traded one more time. I hopped in real quick for at 435, sold for 5 cents at 440. That was a good little trade there. Very quick scalp. But then my next one, take that back. I had 4 trades on it that were actually green at first. The following one was, no, I already said that one, 535. Yeah, already, okay, so that was 3. Now, here's where I got caught, is things were going good, right? But then at 535, yeah, on this candle, I looked at this and go, okay, we've hit this once before, this spot in here, 443. Now we've moved over into this area, 439. Just tap that and then tapped it again here. So I was thinking, okay, here's a possibility for it to rip past 440 and, you know, just explode. And I read that completely wrong there. I hopped in at 431, so I did get a nice pullback here and got in here and was thinking we'd push, but we didn't. False breakout, absolute rip down. And so I go from being up, what was it, 94 bucks on the day, or 96 bucks, and down to negative 71 bucks on the day. So here I am, 3 first trades, solid green, nice. This fourth one, I think it was. Yeah, hopped in 431, stopped out at 403. Ooh, that's a hit. Now, let me know if you got caught in this. I felt like that was tricky. And you know what? The morning open is typically sometimes kind of choppy like this. Not always on certain stocks, but sometimes we you know, there's just a lot of craziness that happens in that first few minutes of the market. And I've had a rule in the past to just wait 5 minutes before I start trading it. And it's been good in the past, but at the same time, I do miss opportunities. You know, my first 3 hits on it I felt were solid and confident and clean. I mean, they weren't huge winners, but they were, you know, good enough. And then the fourth one just ate me up. And so, you know, really rough. And look at this. This kind of move, I feel like this has been happening all week. We've had stocks like this that just, they have potential, but they're extremely volatile. And they make these incredibly crazy moves, which, I mean, this candle alone right here rips up. Look at this. We hit this high of 466 and just close down here at 381. Like, that's just absurd. And you have to be lightning fast to take part in this, but to me it muddies the chart so much because you don't know, you know, it can either rip up or down, and of course you want to be there if you're long going for the rips up. But yeah, after that I just kind of said, nope, not for me anymore. I've been, you know, kind of burning myself on that. Now here was my big burn. Let's go to that real quick. PRFX. That was the next one on my list. PRFX. Now this, oh yeah. I look at this now, it's just, Jesus, bad move on here. So had it not been for this trade, I'd be way greener today. That is for sure. So as IGC like unfolds and it's going downhill, I'm looking kind of for that next play. And I'm seeing this thing. And I initially thought to myself, okay, so we've had some serious momentum to the upside here. And I just wasn't completely confident because it seemed like, I don't know, volume was a little low at the time and we were doing the halt thing again going up. So I was a little concerned, and then I thought, you know what, if this thing ends up being the huge gainer of the day and I just don't jump in, I'm gonna, you know, hate myself for it, missing a huge run just because we've had so many of those where these stocks will just have serious continuation and, you know, go so high. But with this one, man, we hit this area here and just blew up. So let me try to pull into this one real quick for you. Here we go. All right, look at this. At 9:52. Yep, that candle there. Okay, so as this thing opens up, I decide, okay, I want to get in for the run here. Let me hop in. And I was trying to get a decent price, so it ripped up so super quick, and I go, wait for just a split second pullback, and then I'll hop in. So I ended up hopping in at 738. So I would say, you know, good entry if this was to continue, but sometimes they're really hard to tell where the top is going to be on this thing. And I just thought, I don't know, with recent momentum we've had, that this thing might just kind of continue up a little bit more, and it didn't. So anyways, rips up. I hop in for the quick dip, buying at 738, and boom, we get the flush right into the halt going down. Not a good situation to be in. So I had 300 shares, and I immediately tried to shoot a market order over and didn't get filled on it to get out. And so shit, now I'm stuck in this halt going down, and I'm hoping we can open up and maybe get some kind of a bounce. And I thought that might be a potential. We could get a little bit of a bounce, and I'll just sell for a bit of a loss and get out. And if it wants to continue, well, then I'll hop in it later. But anyways, we open, and as you can see, Jesus Christ, I got just beaten up so bad on this. Opens up, gaps way down, and I had to cut the loss on it. Market sold at 541. Look at that bottom of this crap right here. So huge loss for me right there. Very frustrated. Took me down to negative $664 on the day. So please shoot a comment in underneath and let me know if you got trapped on this one too. I'm sure there's plenty of people kind of in my same boat on this, and I don't know, I just felt like I got tricked a bit, or maybe I just didn't read it as well and didn't take care of my risk management. But I thought I had a lot of potential. It seemed like volume was coming in, and I got beaten up. And hey, at least I'm happy that I sold out and at least sold out in here, because look, it was just only to go further downhill from there. So I could have held that thinking, oh, I'm gonna wait for a turnaround, and would have got stuck in a really nasty position. And so I'm glad I cut the loss there. That was my big no today, and that was disastrous. So from there, IPA was the one that I traded a ton on, but I felt a ton of FOMO in this thing. So let me break it down for you real quick. I won't go through every detail. Try to wrap this up and keep it a little bit shorter for you today. Okay, so on this one, after that nasty loss, I see this thing moving up, and I think I first started trading at 1044. Yeah, right in here. Once I saw that this thing was actually really pushing through, decided to start hopping in, start trading it. And I think initially I got green on it. Couple decent moves there, but then this backside was a tricky SOB. So right in here, this candle at that moment, look, we have this nice what looks to be like a pullback, and then I thought maybe another leg higher. Nope. Got stuck in that one, going up, and then sold out. And then we get this huge rip down here. Horrible. Very just wicked crazy. And then we get even more of a sell-off down in here. So I lost some money in here, but was able to recover. This was this whole area here for me. Went from negative 664, got a couple green trades in me, and then boom, all the way down to 796. So that was my low of the day, and I think it was in that area. After that, we pulled up a little bit more, and I realized we were going to start retesting. So I started hopping in a little bit more, but as it moved up, this was the tricky part for me right in here. So this was my mindset, was I had already made all these, red trades that weren't good for me. And right in here, I'm definitely considering hopping in and kind of going in, but I just feel like I couldn't trust it with all this stuff going on. And because of it, I hesitated and waited, and I go, you know what, let me just have it kind of prove itself, and then I'll look for a entry if it does run up. And so it pushes hard and does these 3 solid green candles all the way up, and I didn't get in, and I think it was just because of all this before. I felt like I couldn't trust it. And at that same time, seeing that go all the way up and then boom into a halt, I'm just thinking, you kidding me? I just missed out on this entire move because now I'm being too conservative, and now I'm missing stuff. So I've, in my head, just going back and forth on like, once you start hitting those red trades, you're like, all right, I gotta tighten up, gotta be more conservative, gotta pick better stuff. And then so you get burned on a certain stock, and then like with this, I end up going up, only the best setups, and then miss this entire move. So I was very frustrated at that point in time. And of course, we open up even further, and so I missed this move too. And I'm just like, you get so frustrated, and I go right back to my brain and go, okay, I can't bring this emotion into it. And I wasn't like going crazy. I was just telling myself to manage things a little bit better. And I feel like we've just been in this market where things are really wicked crazy like this. Halts gapping up, going up, and then look at this, a huge run up to 1570 and a complete flush down into a halt going down. So very, very tricky stuff. So anyways, moral of the story is I traded it all throughout. I finally did start getting some more green trades on the table. And then we got to a spot where we started breaking down, and I thought, you know what? Why the hell don't I go short? So I actually started shorting it kind of on the backside here, which was a really good move for me. So a bunch of shorts that I did. This was a really solid move. And I did way better on my shorting today. And all my longs, I felt like I was just kind of getting nowhere with or slowly digging a hole. But once I started shorting, this whole backside of the move on IPA, I just got to a much better position. Now I was, bringing my P&L back and going back hill, and I was slowly climbing out of it. So I was very proud of myself to be able to, switch and go short. Now there were a couple times I tried to go in for a short, couldn't get any shares to borrow. So there was a few shorts that I couldn't even activate or execute. But stay in the path and keep shorting it on that backside was great because I was able to work all the way back up. And I got up to like, what was it? Let's see. Yeah, right around negative 177 on IPA. So that was really good for me to go from negative 796 and work my way all the way back up pretty much with just a ton of shorting. So excellent move there. And that almost wraps it up for me. I had one last trade. Actually, it might have been 2 or 3. So I switched on over to what was it, APDN? APDN? Yeah. Yeah, this was the one. Now this one, let me pull up the yearly on this because I was seeing this thing. Look at that yearly chart. So I like seeing this yearly and seeing that just all of it's going downhill. We have all these areas where it pops up, right? But it doesn't hold any of that. I mean, all this past history here, you've had so many different times it just pumps and completely dumps. So that got me a little bit more confident in the shorting positions that I started doing on it. I did go long in a few positions, but basically I hopped in on APDN and started shorting it in here, which was a great move. And at one point we got to here And I thought to myself, okay, we might have a little bump up, but just how dramatic this sell-off was, I'm thinking this thing is definitely going to continue on downhill. So let me hop in here for another trade. So I went short in here, and as you can see, it started ripping up, and I go, oh, this isn't good, but I think I can still hold out because I'm still bearish on this thing. So I kept holding and decided, you know what, I might as well, while we're up here, average in a little bit. So I bought a little bit more for the short position. And then we get to this, kept going down, and I was looking for it to break this area down at 652. We didn't get it, and it started going back up, and that's when I got a little worrisome, thinking, oh shit. I mean, this thing on the long term definitely is going to go downhill, just from what I'm seeing, but this could be a huge run up today. Although I don't see a catalyst, I don't see any news, so that's giving me a little bit more confidence. But seeing it all the way back up here, I'm thinking, okay, it might double top and then break down. But then we broke the prior high at 759, pushed even further, and I go, ooh, Jesus, this might be not good. Lo and behold, we get that serious push down. As soon as I saw that red candle coming in, felt a little bit better and better about my decision to hold here, and we just get this real this complete bleed off, and that was perfect. So I held it all the way down. I decided, you know, after hours, I think this thing is going to sell off big time. So after hours came, I ended up selling, and I sold at 616. So I forgot what my average cost was on it. I think I was in at, oh, it was 694 was my average cost, and I had 488 shares. So after hours starts, the thing rips down, and I decide, all right, I see a huge red candle. I'm just selling this thing, getting out. And I did that. Wish I would have held it a little bit longer, but I sold at 616. You know, and then we had this push all the way down to 564. Really impressive on the short side, but look at that just massive drop off. This absolute pump and dump here. No volume all day or all morning long. We get into this area, it has a nice run up. You know, great time to go long, but very, I don't know, was risky, very volatile. When you have these incredible moves going all the way up, all the way down, then back up, then down, then up here, kind of double topping a little bit, and then just a brutal sell-off. So I hope you're not sitting in this trying to go long. I don't think it's going to be a good ending, but look at that yearly chart. So today, spiked up massively, and it just couldn't hold anything. So glad I looked at that yearly chart. That the yearly chart definitely helps and analyzing those things. And for me, that's where I got a little bit more my confidence today to short it and hold it a little bit longer. I was worried at some points, but the overall trend here, I mean, is all downhill. So good shorting today. I did way better on my shorting than I did my longs, and I'm ending the day $164. That's really not much to show. Puts me 461 on the week, and 376 on the month. Now, granted, I'm still holding a bag position you guys saw in my last video, so technically I'm negative at the moment. I was gonna look for a better time to get rid of the bag holds, and you know, can't hold them too long, that's for sure. But this month has been just brutal. Trying my best here, but I feel like we've seen so much of this stuff. Such whippy, volatile stocks. APDN is a good example of it. IPA was insane. Now, there was some really good news for this. Apparently, there's a lot of vaccine, COVID news going on with a lot of these stocks. Most of them seem like either pharmaceutical companies or some kind of medical company. So anyways, guys, is a wrap for me today. Not great performance, but hanging in there. My shorts positions are getting better, and I did pretty well on those today. So maybe, you know, when you can do it and you can borrow shares and they're available, there's plenty of good opportunities I'm seeing now. That's just like, hey, big run-ups are good, and if you do miss a lot of them, is opportunity to take the backside of it, and that really helped me out today, because otherwise I'd be big red today. So that's it. Take care. See you guys on the next one.